All right, it's 5:30. We will bring the meeting to order. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know we're on video tonight, so just wanted to let everybody know that we have a really packed house. There may not be seating in the back, but if you could just bear with us, I'm sure a spot will open up shortly. Thanks, Mary. I would like to begin by reading our mission and vision statement, which was recently adopted. The Jasper Downtown Development Authority, by supporting the city of Jasper, its citizens, and its businesses, instills a sense of community pride and improves the quality of life for all. With its vision statement being the Jasper Downtown Development Authority will support a vibrant and thriving downtown community through planning, commitment, and collaboration to build a legacy that lasts. So as we go through our meeting tonight, keep those words in your hearts and minds, and hopefully we can make decisions that align with those things that we're all about. Mr. Callahan, will you verify we have a quorum present this evening?
Yes.
Okay, having a quorum, we can move on to the next item, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Watkins, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The agenda, which was sent out to you previously, thank you, Carly, is in front of you. We'll entertain a motion to adopt our agenda this evening.
Make a motion to adopt agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no call for discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Same with the minutes that were previously sent out. I don't know if they're in our packet though.
They are not in your package.
Okay, so they were previously sent out though.
Yeah, they've been sent out twice,
Yeah,
actually.
which I saw. Entertain a motion to adopt the
So
minutes.
moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. We have no old business to attend to tonight, so we'll move into new business. First of which, this is our annual meeting, and our bylaws call at our annual meeting to elect officers for the coming year, that being chair, vice chair, and secretary treasurer. We would need a motion to, I guess we'll start with the chair, make a motion to nominate a chair for 2026.
I will make a motion to have Parrish still serve as chair in 2026.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yep.
Motion to close nomination.
Thank you. Okay, motion to close nomination. We have a second. A second. Nominations are closed. Yeah. Thanks, Marty.
No objections? Nobody objected to that?
No, I hear you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, same. Thank you very much for your confidence. I appreciate that. Same vice chair, currently Pam Watkins. We need a motion to elect our vice chair for 2026.
I'll make a motion that we Pam remain as our vice chair.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. This is not a nomination. This is actually
What if I seconded that?
motion and a second to elect Pam Watkins as vice chair for 2026. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So
Nice.
our bylaws call for our secretary treasurer to be a staff person at the city. Sorry.
Okay, so the duties can be done by a staff person at the city, but on paper it still has to be one of you. So you have to elect somebody, but you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, because of the signature requirement, right?
Yeah, because I can't sign the papers.
Right.
So one of you will need to be the secretary so that you can sign off on all the paperwork, but I will still keep doing it and Lindsay will obviously do the final.
Well, treasurer as well, correct?
Yes.
Because of check signing?
Yeah, I do a very small part of the treasury stuff. Lindsay does most of it, obviously. But yes, due to signing check request donation forms, it does still need to be one of you. But if you don't have to do anything, I'll do it.
So, does that require 2 votes, or can we assign those duties? I think we can assign those duties.
Yeah. Yes.
We can assign those
Yes.
duties. Okay, so currently, Mr. Callahan serves as our secretary treasurer, and we need to fill that position on the board for 2026.
You really just sign stuff sometimes.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to make Marty that position, or keep Marty in that position.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. We have our officers set for 2026. Okay, so I mentioned, I think in our last meeting that now that we have our committees formed, we have our plan developed, that we would be running our agenda through committee updates. And so those are on the agenda before you, and it shows the organization committee currently is Parrish, Jack, and Brian. The design committee being Parrish, Brian, and Pam. Economic development, Parrish, Brandon, Marty. And promotions committee, Marty, Pam, and Brian. So we'll go through this task tonight. It's our first run at this, so bear with us, but to do these committee updates and handle any business that falls under that committee's responsibility. So first up is organization, Parrish, Jack, and Brian. One of the items I have for organization tonight is the budget, which you have before you. We tabled that item in our last meeting so that we could finalize any expenses that we wanted to look at for this year. And there's been a couple changes since then, which I'll bring you up to speed on now. Does everybody have that in front of them?
Everybody's got that.
Okay, I just want to be sure we're looking at it together. So first and foremost, there's an expense line item of $5,000 for an event planner. That was Mr. Yates. Mr. Yates has decided that he does not have the capacity to assist us this year. So that line item would be eliminated from an expense standpoint. If you go down to 2025 carryover, that number ended up, we knew when we developed this in November that there was going to be expenses that came out in December before it was finalized, and that the ending carryover number was $26,636.48, which is of course less than the $33,500 that was in the original budget. So what that does is it brings the subtotal in the expense category to $131,816, and it brings the subtotal in the savings category, the net budget request then becomes $91,800. If you subtract out the $22,000 that the city has pledged to the DDA this year, that leaves a deficit of $69,880.
21.
Sorry?
They gave you 21, not 22.
Oh, 21, excuse me. So make that 70,880. Or 800, excuse me. 70,800. Last year, $50,000 we raised for sponsorships for various events. So assuming we can do that at a minimum this year, that leaves a $20,000 deficit, which is not uncommon given the fact that, we can't necessarily budget for donations. But I do think that it's possible for the DDA to bridge that gap, which would fully fund our budget for 2026. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I think, as I keep forgetting the name of the committees, it doesn't matter, whatever committee I'm on with, I believe Marty and,
Promotions.
yes, thank you. We will see what, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, sponsorships we got last year, and see who can reach out to who for sponsors this year. And if you do have any, personal relationships with any businesses that you would feel comfortable, going in person and asking for money, basically, let us know, but I will send out that email by next week, just to, so everyone can be on the same page, cause we do need to, you know, get that money to do everything that we need to do, so.
Yeah.
If y'all would be on board with that.
So one thing, you got downtown lighting, $10,000, that's zero.
That
Okay.
was 4,000.
It's on here, 10,000.
Oh, there's a page I marked up.
No, I understand. So you're saying that went
Zero?
from 10 to 4?
Well, it's nothing because the business owners are paying.
Okay.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
zero.
Zero?
Okay, so that's 4 more.
Well, it's actually 10,000.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
10 goes to 0.
So that reduces the deficit to about $10,000 then for the year.
And so the other thing that we talked about was not doing the winter planning, which is $24.50. So that's another $2,450.
Yeah, and I think when we get design, Brian has some ideas too to
Yeah,
correct.
we talked
That's,
about it.
that's what we were kind of
So-
talking about is.
So I guess what I'm trying to do now is for us to approve a budget so that we can move into the other items.
Okay.
Because I think what I'm trying to display is I believe we're within the ability for us to fulfill this budget this year with what we have in place.
And we can always amend the budget, right?
We can always
Most
amend the
of it
budget.
is in events, and if we don't get what we need in sponsorships, if we need to change up the plan, we can always do
100%.
So I think that's the issue for the moon.
Okay.
Well, I don't really feel like as good as things were last year with sponsorships and things like that. Sorry, I'm still, anyways, with things like that, this year may be a little bit better, I hope,
Yes,
because things tend to seem to be a little better than they were last year,
yes.
starting out. So, I think businesses maybe will be a little more comfortable with turning loose a little bit more money.
Yes.
And so
Yeah, and I think, we talked about, Pam and I talked about this earlier today. I think our approach with our sponsors, if we want to continue to call them sponsors, can change. I think they need to understand that their financial commitment to us doesn't just fund concerts. Like, it's gonna be bigger than that, and that's where we really need their help. And I think once we show especially on Main Street, the changes that are gonna come aesthetically through the things that we're working on, which is in the plan that's already been sent out to the public, so it's not like a secret. When we accomplish all these things on our to-do list, right? Then that's gonna just show value. But what our partners, is what I'd like to call them, need to understand is that their commitment, their financial commitment goes well beyond a downtown live concert or some event. It's bigger than that.
it's more like a friend of the DDA.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so that's why I'm excited for this year, because I think when we really do some visual things that are happening, website changes, we talked about, ad nauseum about some signage differences, the hanging basket beautification program, landscape maintenance, hopefully the number of events that we get, which we'll talk about in just a second. All those things are gonna bring more value from our DDA than they have in the past. So I'm excited about those initiatives. So I think when we go talk to these partners, we need to have a broader conversation about buy-in at a higher level, right? Because it's not just a sponsorship. Sure, we're gonna give them recognition for being our partner as every chance we get, but it's more about, what we can do collectively as a board. So with that, if you're comfortable with that, basically a $10,000 difference, then we would just need to make a motion to approve our budget for 2026.
Okay, so I need to, like,
So
line
that
by
can be
line, know
approved
what we're putting in there.
Is this something we have to bid on?
We have, everything has got,
Yeah,
it
we
needs to
gotta-
be in December, we are behind, it's gotta be put on
Because it's
time.
our annual meeting.
Yeah, the state wanted it 2 weeks ago. So
So we'll start with event planner,
yeah, so that's going to
Eliminated.
0, okay. And
small
then
events at 15.5,
the 5 downtown live plus history events stayed the same.
71
Lighting went down to 0,
went down to 0,
social media and website were keeping the same.
5,000,
So yeah, the bathroom signage needs to go from 1 to a gauge from 5 to 8, depending on which one you guys decide on.
Okay. So, can we say 5?
Yeah, that's fine. That'll make your decision making easier for
Okay.
designs, gotta pick. Master gardeners, there's no cost associated with that, is there? I know we're not there yet, but just wanna make sure.
No,
Okay.
I was gonna say they don't.
Go ahead, we can
Yeah,
talk
that's
about it
fine.
now.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so, Margie Hendricks is one of the master gardeners in Pickens County. And she has talked to all of them, I think there's like 12 or 15 of them. And, they are very interested in doing the landscaping for downtown. And master gardener as in, they would plant the baskets, they would plant the planters, they would really put in a lot of native plants and things that will grow and regrow every year, every season. And I've been a little busy at the start of the year, but she wants to meet with me and walk around downtown and just kind of get an idea. And then they can get back with us and let us know what they might recommend.
Awesome.
And really, basically, we would just have to purchase plants and then we could give them all the recognition they wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my recommendation would be to leave it as is.
Okay, just in case.
And knowing, I mean, if we come in under budget on expense,
That's great, yeah.
It's not an issue. So,
Okay.
you know, not a big deal. So I would leave it as is and just,
Okay,
leave the hanging basket piece as is.
Now, the landscape maintenance part too, if they can take that over, I think the plan is to kind of like what we discussed before now was having the red, white, and blue done in the planters.
Yeah.
All up and down Main Street.
Yeah.
All over the downtown area. And then, so that amount to leave it as is for now, because that's basically what it cost us last year, but that amount will significantly drop.
Yeah.
If we can call out like the fall planting, because, you know,
Well, and the
Christmas.
landscaping may contract.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
yeah,
because we do the mid-year budget amendment, so I
Yeah.
think we can change it. Okay, now removing the kid zone, we're good with
Right,
pulling the
that's
trigger
fine.
on that?
What is it now?
The reduction on the savings side of the budget, the $7,200 by removing the kid zone. DJ at 1,600,
Yeah, we don't need
website social manager 4,500.
that, don't need
Those are all expenses spent last year that we don't anticipate having this year.
Okay.
So those offset. So the one thing I do want to add is, or discuss adding anyway, is a line item for Carly's expenses. And I think we talked about 4,000.
You'd really. Yeah, we can, cause we're also gonna need to add one for these signs, cause there's not one for just beautification. We're gonna need to rename one for like the wayfinding signage or any other signage we do.
Okay.
Maybe we can just put it, like, eliminate the word bathroom, and we'll just put signage and add whatever other.
Do you have an estimate on that? I know you've
Um,
got some information in here. But
no, not cost wise, because it hadn't been brought to the board yet, so I didn't wanna make like a unilateral decision. Maybe
Okay.
it should have and gotten a quote.
So that, let's just look at that as a potential amendment, once we get some more information.
Okay, we can do it in the latter half of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, social media and website, okay, what are we gonna spend on the website? Anybody know?
It's not nothing right now.
Okay. I mean,
Basically, we're getting money from social media, from posts and stuff, and
Oh,
that will
yeah.
take care of it for now.
okay.
It's all just a wash.
Okay,
now,
And Mary's graciously agreed to help with the website.
oh, yeah.
Very thankful.
yes, thank you, Mary. Now, on the social media though, are we gonna do any money to boost post or?
So we can't do boosting, government pages are not allowed to, but in lieu of that, I decided, like, Reparish and I talked, unless you guys don't like this, we could take the money we had proposed to use for boosting every month And the last Friday of every month, I was about doing like follower Friday, we do a giveaway where we get something from one of the Main Street Boundary businesses. And there's a winner. Yeah, that was it, like that is where that money goes. If we spend it like this, and so then that way we're creating some engagement and also like advertising and getting products and blah, blah, blah. So just kind of reallocating that there. So still being used for social media, just not for boosting
Okay.
specifically. Is,
Yeah.
oh, that might be a good idea.
Or if we get the downtown dollars set up.
Yes,
Sure.
that would help a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, going back to the progress ad while we're on the marketing side of things, Pam and I were talking earlier about that, and I kind of agree with her sentiment that the chambers, agreed to help us with some local advertising and billboard advertising, so I don't know that we need to budget for that for 26.
Not right now.
Right. Okay, so,
No, and the chamber's very gracious with that because it's a pretty
Yeah.
large
yeah,
network.
which is huge.
So yeah, I mean, if you wanna
That's
put,
everything I had for budget.
if you wanna put, I know this is gonna sound weird, let's just put me in with social media and, because I've already spent most of what I'm gonna spend for the year, cause I had to, cause it's for training, and it was $1,365, or $1,365.
There's still gonna be things that are gonna come up through the year.
There are,
And it's just not necessary that you have to come before the board every
Yeah.
time you need to make a decision, so we need to have a line item for,
Yeah, so I'd say 3 or 4,000 would cover anything.
I like 4.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay, so we'll just we'll do social media / me, and we'll raise that to 9.
Do we need to vote on that?
Well, we're gonna.
You're gonna add it into, yeah, that's fine. Okay, then that's, I think, all we really need. That should be good for me to put in.
So my numbers show that number goes back to about 20 then, when it's all said and done,
Yeah, what is our
which I think
net
is
So what is the whole
very.
budget request and what is the deficit?
The deficit is about 75,800.
Okay,
Well, that's with the cuts and everything?
Mm-hmm.
so we are at, so what did we say, 91?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we've got the 26 plus the approximately 50. Which leaves us,
Yeah, I factored all that in, it comes out to a net deficit of close to 20.
yeah, we're between 15 and 20, okay. That'll get me close enough for right now.
Okay? So with that, we have a motion to adopt the budget as amended.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as amended. Any discussion?
Budget as amended.
What did I say?
Agenda.
Oh, sorry, the budget as amended, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed?
Wait, who seconded that?
Jack?
Okay, Jack.
Thank you, board, I appreciate your work on that very much.
Can you send us all?
Yes, I'll clean this up, and, yeah, you'll get an email tomorrow.
I think design, we've already covered the items that we would cover in the committee update, correct me if I'm wrong. If not, we'll move on to economic development, there are no updates there that I have. Brandon, Marty, any updates?
No, the, one thing I was trying to work on over the past month is just the road signs for downtown Jasper. I don't know if it's really a development committee thing. I was just trying to assist, pull some kind of weight since I'm just this 255-pound dead body.
Untrue.
So so I don't know, Carly, if you're gonna give an update on that during your update or what we were thinking there.
Wait, I did a map for Parrish and Bryan, that meeting you had to miss. Parrish has it, because apparently those are not the signs they were thinking of starting with. They were thinking of more starting with the signs that are on Main Street, that are the picture examples in your packet. So I put those on the 2027 list. if we're gonna start with the wayfinding signage on Main Street and not on the highways.
Well, so here's what I would say to that. I know this is new for the board as a whole, but what I would like to have happen moving forward is anytime someone has an idea about doing whatever it is, that we find which committee has responsibility over that and shift that idea to that committee for consideration, discussion, and bringing it back to the board. Is that fair?
Yes.
So that we're not duplicating efforts.
Yeah.
So I think, my recommendation was to take that idea, give it to the design committee, right? And let them have that discussion about those signs plus the wayfinding signs, you know, come up with a plan and a budget and a recommendation to the board for a vote.
Yeah, and then I feel, not that it's a lot of legwork, but got all the maps with where I think they would be good at, the highways and so forth, so I can provide you guys with a lot of information.
Yeah, I looked at the email
Perfect.
you sent, and those were on the. I did have to do mine while I was like driving the spots because I'm me, so it's a hard copy. But I looked at yours, and they're a lot of the same.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah.
So yeah, I think we keep it alive in the design committee and just see what they come up with.
And my recommendation too was to get just a brown sign, just because if you go on 515 and 53, it's green sign heaven. I mean,
Yeah.
there's one for the winery, the chamber, I mean, there's multiple out there, so brown kind of sticks out a little bit. And so that's what I was kind of thinking in my head.
Travelers
Brown sign.
tend to look for those brown
Well,
signs.
brown is generally equated with historic type signs.
Yeah.
Like if you go into any historic downtown, like Dawsonville, Elliott, like they're the good brown. So I think that's a commonly used thing. So yeah, I think.
And then I don't know too, the back end, like, because a lot of those spots are Pickens County, right? So I don't know what it kind of looks like with easements and getting a hold of them to discuss what.
Yeah, so we had started, I met with Josh, I met with Brandon, then Parrish and Brian, then Josh. And, we had decided to start with just the ones Josh could install.
Mhm.
And when I still thought we were gonna do it for 2026, and then next year and the year after that, kind of go out to, okay, we might need Pickens County, then we might need Cherokee County, you know? So we have a plan of just the city ones also, but depending on when you wanna start it, yes, the county would have to be involved in some of that.
So you said the ones that Josh can install, does that mean like,
City limits.
okay, but does that mean you don't have to look up easements and all that crap?
Yeah, he can just put them wherever he wants, or wherever we tell him to, as long as it's city property.
Okay,
Yeah, and he gave me some locations he thought would be good, and we went through and made sure that all the ideas I had, his team could go on those sites, and so we have a list of things we can do in-house, so we wouldn't have to ask the county or anybody for.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Things that like, and the signs, what was it, like $40-something? You know?
Yeah, like, I mean,
So,
for a basic one, you're looking at 30 to 50. If we wanna alter it, you could go a little higher, but I mean, it's nothing significant. Like, I thought it would be, but it's really not.
yeah, just.
Like, am I out of bounds to make a motion to just go move forward with those that Josh can do?
That you would need, okay, then what's your max? It'd be one of the things where you give me a max dollar amount to spend, and I tell you how many signs we can get for that dollar amount, kind of thing.
Well, if they're 40 or 50 bucks, is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
It depending on what size you want and what you want them to say.
So we'll go through it in committee and I'll bring it up.
I think that's.
That come back to the February
I
meeting,
think
yeah.
that's the
Okay.
best idea.
Because the $40 or $50 ones are usually like,
Yeah, they're like
Guys,
they're just.
18 by 24, I think was,
Yeah.
so they're not super huge.
And I'll just add, I know it's not necessarily the same locations that you circled on the map, but Jack approached Representative Jaspers about, since the DOT's gonna come in and dig up all the roads, about will the DOT fund a monument sign at 53 and 515? You know, can we get them to help us with that, given the amount of interruption that our businesses are gonna, you know? So we're waiting, he's taken that and kind of running with it, we're waiting to hear a response there, so.
So just to let y'all know, I'm at a meeting with Rick and we were talking about the sign and he gave me some ideas and some people to talk to, plus the DOT. Originally, when you come out 515, you get on the road, we were gonna put it there, but you can't put it there because somebody has a wreck and hits it, they're sued, okay? So I asked Rick, where would you like to put it? And he gave me a piece to look at. And I am talking, and I said, all right, so who do I need to talk to? He's given me 3 or 4 people, so that's where I'm at with that. And I will get back to y'all.
Yeah, appreciate design committee, whatever you need, I can forward over the information that I put together and help you out.
Please.
Awesome. Okay, promotions, Pam?
Okay. So, part of promotions is dealing with all these events that we want to have next year. I gave y'all all this paper. There are gonna be some minor changes as I go through this. I'm not gonna read every word of this, or all the numbers on it. But here we go. So, the highlights. First off, downtown live dates for 2026. Design committee is proposing that we have 5 downtown lives this year. The first one being April 25th, which would be on Main Street like it has been. May 16th, also on Main Street as it has been. June 13th, also on Main Street as it has been. We get into September 19th would be the next one, just to avoid the July and August heat. So September 19th, that one would be our first one in Perot Park. Perot, how I do it every time. And then the final downtown live would be October 17th. That one would be on Whitfield and Stegall. Supposedly bollards are going to be installed on Whitfield to be able to have more events on that back street so as not to disrupt Main Street and not have to, deal with all the barricades and stuff like that. So those are the downtown live dates that we are proposing. Other events, we have what we're calling Music in the Alley, so a spring and fall mini concert series on Stegall, since we do have that spot already, with bollards there. Those dates are going to be March 7th, March 21st, April 4th, April 11th for spring. Fall dates, August 29th. Here's one where I have to change it because Angela has taken that September 12th date for an art walk. If it is approved by council, obviously, but I'm sure it will be. So that date will change to September 5th. Then I have October 3rd, October 10th, and October 24th. The next event I have is for St. Patrick's Day. I did have a meeting with Mandy at the Conservancy because we've planned it the last several years, but Dr. Keller has expressed an interest in bringing back the Shamrock Stroll as well. So we're going to work on that. It is later in the day. I do realize that there is another walk going on at Lee Newton Park. But that will be in the morning. And this one, it's literally a 0.5K. That's what it's always been in the past. And the money goes to a charity that we will pick. But I also want to have the DDA on board with this as well, even though, we're getting help from this other organization to plan it. But I just want to make sure it just stays in our mind as something to do year by year, because it's good attendance and people like it. Okay, next I have Wrestling on Main. That would be on North Main Street. That would be June 20th to coincide with the Father's Day weekend. Just letting y'all know, most of these are, I think all of them are on a Saturday. So
Well, what's the time on that, do you know?
the time would be later on in the evening,
Yeah,
so it's
okay.
not super hot, even though
That's what I'll fit that.
the guy who does if y'all are aware of Showtime, I don't know if you're aware, he does wrestling events around town. He's super into it, and plus he's super excited about this. He's like, when is this gonna get approved? He's not asking for any money for it either. He just wants to do it for the community, which I think is great. Next I have the Derby race on Stegall, that would benefit the Jasper Police Department. That would be on September 26th. I would love to bring this back. This is by far probably the most expensive, event that we have on here, just because of the hay costs.
But we got somebody who's gonna be able to get that to us, didn't that come up?
Everything's supposedly,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
say it like that,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Okay.
Can I interrupt real quick and ask you a question? On the hay, we had talked about last year with whoever provided the hay. Is that for us to keep and use through like the fall and Thanksgiving?
I guess I don't know if we would need that much hay. for
Not that
some of it.
much, but just some of it, like,
I'm sure you could, like in general, what happens is, they'll sell it to you and they'll buy it back for even cheaper than they sold it to you. That's how it works. So if you wanted to keep some, knock yourself out,
We're gonna pay for it,
yeah,
There's gonna be more than enough to,
it'll be more than enough for all of the fall.
I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
That's
Correct.
awesome.
Next I have the Soup Bean Festival and History event, which, I read in an email, someone wanted to call it First Mountain Days, which I think is cool. That would be November 7th to kind of coincide with that Veterans Day weekend as well. Other things on here, obviously I put on here the Halloween scarecrows and the Christmas trees on Main, just as, stuff that we've done in the past. Other stuff I have on here is farmers markets on Whitfield and Stegall. So right now the farmers markets are on Saturdays from 7 to noon. If they wanted to move up to Whitfield and Stegall, I think that would be great. I have no idea if they would be willing to do that or not. I do not know the woman who puts it on or anything. However, if they were not okay with that, if we pilfered some of their people and they wanted to, if they didn't sell all their wares or whatever and come up to Whitfield and Stegall Saturdays, from 1 to 6 or whatever they wanted to do, to coincide with those dates, it's just an idea, okay? Let's see, we have the candlelight shopping nights are already scheduled for December 4th and December 11th. I think those sound great. I have food truck nights. They were held in Bill Pickett's parking lot on Wednesdays in the summer and fall. I would like to pick that up again. I don't know if there would necessarily be a charge for it. I asked Randy at the distillery earlier, and he was like, there probably wouldn't be. It would just be more scheduling the trucks and stuff like that. Sip-in shops. So as of right now, I was talking to Sherry, actually,
Right,
Jack.
yeah, we already called you.
So we have one scheduled. We have got to, she was very adamant about doing a Galentine's Sip-in Shop. That is scheduled for February 12th. That is a Thursday. I have them, all the Sip-in Shops are scheduled for Thursdays. It seems like those are the best dates for the businesses downtown. So I've done that quarterly. Like I said, that first one, February 12th. Then I have May 7th, August 13th, and November 19th.
What were those dates again, Pam?
May 7th, August 13th, and November 19th. Keep in mind, I have not talked to any businesses downtown about those dates.
Okay.
So whatever email list we have or anything, we need to push that out to these businesses and see if they would be willing to stay open later those dates.
Talk to Fashion 10, because she just today was saying that they want to do one of those, so.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Cool. I believe that is it. So, where is that? So just to show you, like I have this ginormous calendar for whatever reason at the brewery. And so I was writing down different events that are going on. So just to show y'all, like, I'm really wanting to, I don't know where I can get so y'all can see them. I don't know if y'all can see this. Yeah, do that. So I have events too that aren't ours, but other organizations do them, and I may have missed some, so y'all know. So there's an art walk here that is, June 3rd, is that right? No, that's May
May.
30th. And then, where's that one? September 12th. Let's see, there's the Morgul Festival. I have the candlelight shopping on there. But my whole point of showing you this is that there's really something going on in every month. If not a big event, a small event, mixtures of those two. I'm trying to think if there's any other real highlights that I need to point out. I don't know that I do, but you know, if there's any other things that we can fill in, by all means, tell me now or whenever. Even things that don't cost much money, obviously, because we don't have much or any.
Well, the other thing too, if we can get those bollards up and then it's not an issue on staffing or no charge there, you know, it's gonna be easier to have little pop-up events.
Correct.
Maybe that's what we call it too.
And that's especially like, because I didn't write any dates down for the night market things, but that's just a cool thing to have in a downtown, I believe. And it brings people out. I mean, we could even bring out them candles again for night
Yeah.
markets.
Absolutely.
You know, it doesn't have to be just in December. So,
Well, when we get a little firmer schedule on the park, I wanna work on, and I'm just gonna head this up myself, I just need approval, I'll get it, but like in nighttime, like a candlelight concert after the park's finished and ready to allow people, so we just kinda have to play that by ear and we can add that to the list later. But just have a candlelight concert.
and we had, let's see, I'm trying to follow your list, Carly, of what else we're supposed to say on here.
Oh, awesome.
For the history event, and I haven't hardly talked to anybody at Parrish this morning about it, but we were talking about, you know, that's gonna be with the Soup Bean Festival, like, you know, banjo music, Appalachia, when we were talking to Jack, if we had, you know, how you had that with Bubble House.
Yes.
So if we had old pictures of every business, blow them up,
No
put them
problem.
in the windows,
No problem.
like
Yeah.
have what it looked like before.
The only thing is who's gonna blow them up? I mean, that's something that you have to
So
consider.
we can get
We can figure that out.
I mean,
detail.
don't worry about that.
Okay,
That's why the budget, you know, like
yeah,
that's
exactly,
in
I
it.
understand.
So
So, yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, I've got just about everybody covered up down the road.
okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring some attention today. I met with Karen Smith and a group of about 15 to 20 Linnet Day.
So before we go there, respectfully, we just need to vote on these dates.
What, okay, so I was gonna add something to it, but that's fine. We
Yeah.
can come back to that later.
So that's what I have for dates.
Okay,
So, yeah, do we need a motion to adopt the
Okay, so
dates and locations.
I say I need to know for sure if this is strictly dates or are we adopting locations?
Locations,
Cause that's gonna depend on what I take to.
I understand.
Dates and locations.
Dates and locations.
And they should all be correct, other than the ones that I told you to change, like the only date that's not correct on here is under it says Music in the Alley, there's a September 12th.
Yeah,
Mark that out and put
fifth.
September 5th.
And then we're not doing anything for Halloween this year.
Yes,
There's no.
I mean, we have that, they do the trick or treating down there. And then.
Okay, we're just not doing anything.
Well, the Stegul stuff, like, isn't there decorations and stuff that we bought for that?
Yeah, is that just, are we gonna do an event for that like we did
So-
last year or?
So we did talk about potentially, because we were talking about Downtown Live merging with that.
Yeah,
We could do the Downtown Live on Mark Whitfield for that concert, and then also do the Stegul thing
at the same, yeah.
at the same time,
That is, well,
which
I
would be
mean,
kind of a cool thing to do, I think.
yeah, the staff recommendation I made is what staff and the elected body and the mayor are in favor of, so, and that's what's on here. If we deviate from that, I'm just letting you know Monday night, it could get voted down.
We understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And I was
as long
going
as
back
we're cool
and-
with that, we're good with that.
We understand that.
Okay.
We'll deal with
Is the
it.
council gonna go through each line, or just, is it all in and out?
Yeah, so they are, as the DDA, the goal for I would not anticipate advocating to close Main Street going over in your favor for 2026. I would just be prepared for that to not happen.
So I think,
You are more than welcome to still vote for it, and that'll be what I take to council Monday night and present, and then they will vote. I would just be very prepared to have to pivot on that.
And that's fine, they can do whatever, but
Okay.
So when you say not close Main Street, as in for any of the events?
Any event we are proposing, because they will have to do it for the parades and Jeep Fest, but anything we are proposing, the city's paying for the bollards and to put the bollards in, and Perot's opening to stop having to close Main Street because of the parking and foot traffic. So, if council were to ask Monday night what staff's recommendation would be, they would say, we will not advocate to close Main Street. Council was also approached at the end of last year, and Brandon kind of might speak on this better, but a bit the Whitfield Perot layout was okay in lieu of closing Main Street, and they were in favor. So I can't determine how council's gonna vote. I don't get a vote on this board, I am separate from you guys, but I was just trying to prepare you that if you vote for these 4 events to close down Main Street, that Monday night they might get not approved. So then, I don't know what happens after that.
well, what happens after that is we come
We
back.
might have to
and we look
re-vote
at-
on February, you might have to re-vote in February, or you can just, I'm not clear on if you'll have to vote again in
It's a
February.
committee, it's a committee decision.
Or if council, we can just go with what they suggest, or if you'll have to re-vote in February, but that's something we can hash out Monday night if they. I would anticipate to be prepared for Plan B. In all honesty, so.
Trying to think, yeah, Parrish and I had a good conversation today about the why. Why is this important for us to have it in Main Street? And I think one is our businesses, any chance we get to bring any kind of event closer to our businesses, that's gonna help business, right? We can't bring people inside your doors, but we can bring them to your community, right in front of them. So, I think if we paint it like that and talk to, and we'll see where council's head at, is at on Monday. But
Yeah, fair. I think the DDA has a obligation to our downtown businesses, and I think, I don't know, maybe you would disagree, but my personal opinion is that events on Main Street support those downtown businesses more than off Main Street. We'll see. This will be the first time we're doing that. So our commitment is to them, and if city council disagrees with us, well, that's fine. It's no big deal. And we'll figure it out from there. Yeah,
I make a motion to adopt my
Okay,
dates
just
as
be aware that
planned.
that is
Yeah.
gonna also, if we close Main Street for those 4 events, you're gonna have to pay for ODM, which is thousands of dollars, so that will be a budget thing we'll have to work out.
It's already in the budget that I gave you.
Okay, so yeah,
It's budgeted
ODM
for.
will be required for all 4 of those, I think a minimum of 3 officers. And then also Public Works, they are not planning on to have them come in on Saturdays to close roads, so that will be a conversation we'll have to have now. So that you could be incurring a cost for that as well, I'm just not sure.
Well, remember, we can use the judge as, people.
I don't know how that will go over, that is again probably more staff and council decision because of liability issues, because they are not our employees if they get hurt putting on a city event, because DEA is a branch of the city legally. So, because that was brought up, and they're not opposed to it from a personal standpoint, but from the city would be liable if one of those people got hurt throwing barricades. And there are barricades, so then what happens if a person doing community service breaks one of Josh's things? But the storm this past weekend, the guys worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all day. That same budget is what we pull from to have them come out and work downtown live. So I'm just that could also be a thing, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we all have to understand that the city council has a lot more factors to consider when they make decisions than we do, right? a lot, so it's fine. So we have a motion to adopt the dates and locations for events for 2026. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? Thank you, board. I appreciate your work on that. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
we want the September and October, are we still planning to close, or just the first 3?
What, the downtown lives?
Yeah.
April, May, June are on Main Street. It's right there. It's the first page. Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. Arrow.
Okay.
Full list to go on.
Okay, so-
The only other, every other line item on here has the location. The only other, closure for Main Street would be the June 20th wrestling.
Yes, we got that, okay.
The rest of them, I mean, the Sip and Shop is on Main Street, but obviously you don't close the roads for that. I hope that's clear on the.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, okay. So what do you want me to go over?
Okay? And we can finalize that, the details
Christmas.
after the meeting too, so
Okay.
since it's been really long.
The other thing for, sorry, Trish. The other thing for the promotions committee, I think you said something already about this, but I just wanted to make sure, cause it says like content of progress ads for events.
Yeah, if you're choosing we're not doing those at all, then we don't need
Okay,
content for them.
I mean, we can make a decision to do it later, but I think at this time we've just said.
yeah, right now, negative.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all for the promotions committee, unless Brian or Marty have something else to add.
Gentlemen?
All I was gonna say is that if we make the change and not have them on Main Street, then we'll have to sit down again and look at how we're gonna promote the event and how it's gonna go and how we'll fund it, because we're not gonna, I just have a hard time going to businesses that I've asked $50,000 in the past for the last 5 years to put the event on the back street.
They're not gonna like it.
Nope.
I'm not gonna like it.
I'm not gonna try to sell it either, because it won't sell. But that's my opinion, I've got one of the opinions on the board. So let's see what the council does and what the public says, and we'll go from there.
Luckily, we'll know Monday.
Yeah, well, on Monday.
That's true.
Yeah.
How are you gonna vote?
I don't know, you just have to attend on Monday and see. But also too, it is aligned with our park opening, right? Pearl Park, that May, June timeframe is the last I've heard, so it's kind of aligned with that as well.
May?
May to June is.
May is the completion
Word on the
date,
street.
and depending on when the sod is laid, you do have to stay off the sod for 6 weeks after it's put
Which
down.
will keep us from.
So, I mean, it
Yeah.
is aligned with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't have a June 13th one there at Pearl Park anyway, so.
September.
Yeah, the September and October ones,
That's fine.
yeah, if we try to not put those in for somebody wanting really soon.
Is there a timeline for those bollards?
So they wanted to get the bollards to do the downtown lives in April, May, and June. So, but if we're not going to use them, I just don't. I don't know.
I talked to Brandon Douglas again about that today, and I think it's gonna be brought up on Monday as well.
It will be.
Is my
It is an
hope,
item
is
for
that discussion's had, vote, or whatever it needs to get over the finish line.
Cause or else it's gonna be like, we're not gonna schedule something and something that we can't have it in, and if they're not gonna make it until we schedule something, then we just go in circles.
And for the crowd that might not know, like, what the heck are you talking about, these bollards? So, so Brandon Douglas had this wonderful idea at the end of last year for Mark Whitfield to have removable bollards. So something like Stegall has, but those are permanent. These we would be able to block the road, set them up the day before or the morning of, and then you're able to hold the event. But they are removable, they can come and go per event. So that's what the great thing about it is. It's not the manpower of the city having to come out there outside of placing the bollards. So it really opens up that access a lot.
Very good. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you committees, and thank you for all your work to get all that accomplished. Item number 3, we have public comments. I understand Mr. Terry.
Wait just a second.
Okay.
We didn't go through design committee. Did we?
We
No.
did.
It's on the side.
There it, well,
It's
it's,
going
oh,
to design.
okay, sorry.
Road signs.
Yep.
Never mind.
So you do have to adopt the logo officially. You don't have to adopt the logo use tonight or logo merchandise if you don't want to. We can push that to February, but we at least have to adopt the logo or we can't use it. So do we want to
Okay.
do that or?
You've all seen the logo, so do we have a motion to adopt the logo as it's
So moved.
second? Do we have a second? They were emailed out.
Oh yeah, it was in your packet last month. It's not in there. I know.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in,
Just, I would just want to say thank you to the chamber for helping us out with that.
Yeah.
You know, that was just a crowd involvement where Amy decided to step in to help us out. So,
100%.
just thankful for the chamber for stepping up.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. And Carly, we'll use your update for any other items that we need to, finish up. Item number 3, public comments. Mr. Terry, I believe you're here to talk to us about a community organization day.
Yep, cool.
You have the floor?
You want, just for Mary, can I sit up here?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Do you want the podium, sir?
And then get my better side.
4 scores and 7 years ago.
No, just to, I'll try to be succinct. To preface, thanks a lot for the time and the opportunity. Really appreciate all of your efforts and love everything I'm hearing so far in the meeting with the planning that you're doing. So my why for being here tonight, some of you attended on December 10th, and for the record, I'm Dave Terry, president of the Pickens County Small Business Development Council, 501c3 nonprofit based here in Pickens County. So on December 10th, we had a small business and entrepreneurial forum. Some of you that attended, Mayor Rathfield actually presented some data. And some of the takeaways, we're in extremely challenging times for small businesses, particularly ones on Main Street and in downtown. So our 4 community roundtable topics that we had really overlap a lot with what the DDA does as their own mission. So our 4 topics were around how do we retain existing small businesses, tourism and local attractions, how do we bring in quality jobs, and the 4th was on affordable workforce housing. So again, we had 50 plus people from the community that were very engaged and passionate about these topics. And one of the things that was really obvious going into this year is that there are tons of well-intentioned, good folks in the community that want to serve. And one of the things that we talked about is there's a lot of people with like-minded interests that want to advance the initiatives that the DDA is talking about. So started to have some conversations, ad hoc conversations with Parrish and Carly and Jack and different folks. And the reason I'm here is to just share in a very transparent way, how do we work together as a community to help the DDA? So one of the things that we talked about, there's a lot of different nonprofits, again, that have a similar mission around serving the community. Had some great talks with Terry Frankel from Serve Pickens, Verid with Keep Pickens Beautiful. And Verid to me is just the standard for how a nonprofit can contribute back to the community. So a shout out to Verid for her help with facilitating this. So what we talked about is we want to do some kind of community service day that helps downtown. So what we then started to talk about, what does that look like? So we talked about throughout a date, Saturday, May 9th, as a placeholder. And what the ask really is for the DDA, from the DDA is, can you help us define a scope of work where these volunteer organizations can add the most value? So, for example, one of the goals would be just to beautify and improve downtown Jasper. You know, in advance of, you know, the festivals and the amphitheater opening, how do we make sure, you know, downtown Jasper, which is the heartbeat of our county, of our community, how do we make sure we're making a great first impression? So, you know, can we pressure wash facades? Can we wash windows? Can we clean up trash? Can we do cosmetic improvements with, you know, touch-up paint? And we started to talk about that scope of work, and then, you know, Carly and others brought up, you know, sounds great, but there's challenges with that. How do we collaborate with the property owners, you know, to reduce liability? How do we make sure we get permission from the property owners to work on their buildings? So this tonight is a conversation starter to help get that going. But the goal would be to kind of lead to, you know, a consistent, cohesive, uniform look and feel for downtown, you know, because it doesn't do a lot of good if one property owner is taking a lot of pride in their building, and the person next door hasn't pressure washed their building in 10 years, or the back of Main Street, the peripheral areas of Main Street may not get as much attention and love as Main Street itself. So, you know, how do we make sure everything that's considered now in the Main Street boundary and downtown district, you know, has that, you know, a cohesive, you know, look and feel. So we think we're bringing together, you know, the right volunteer leaders to help push this forward. And this isn't anything really new either. Serve Pickens and Terry last year helped with a similar project with the historic jail. So we want to now look at, like, how do we scale what we did for the historic jail into, you know, a broader area, you know, for all of downtown. So that's the ask again, is like, can we get the DDA's help to define what areas would you like to see, you know, improved? Can you help us reach out to property owners, you know, who might not live here, and help us get, you know, their permission? You know, how does this align with your own strategic plan? You know, are there particular areas that you think might need, you know, more attention that we can help with? So that's it. You know, some of the priorities might be if there are areas that, you know, might not be ADA compatible, or areas that might be a safety issue, not have as, you know, the proper lighting. You know, maybe we focus on those areas first. But Serve Pickens had historically has up to 150 volunteers in October. And again, Terry has offered her services to help organize this. They already have, you know, website set up. I'm happy to work with any of you on if we want to just walk around downtown together and take pictures, and start to, like, you know, catalog areas that we think, you know, need help. We can do that. So that's why I'm here. And any questions or feedback, you know, all ears.
Thank you. Mr. Terry, board, do you have any questions for Mr. Terry?
Dave, when are y'all supposed to meet again before May the 9th?
So we wanted to have, like, just this conversation first, you know, put it out there to the public and to the DDA, see what questions you may have, and then we're going to regroup in the next week or so, you know, with the folks that have had the initial, you know, discussions. So probably in the next, you know, 2 weeks. But the sooner we can hear from y'all on, you know, is this something we can, you know, partner on, and what does that look like, you know, the better we can keep moving this forward.
Well, I talked to Mr. Terry this afternoon, and I was talking about, you know, we've only got 2 water spigots on the main road as far as doing pressure washing, which I did my whole road one time before, and I think Brian's done his. But, you know, we can see if we can get some contractors with the big pressure washers and do the other streets. And, but I think this is something we need to be doing.
Yeah, the access to water is obviously gonna be a big one, but, if we can get, well, you know, one of the ideas is just, yeah, we get, pressure washing companies are very, can be very innovative, because they're used to maybe not having access to spigots and can bring in water tanks and, storage, water storage, so, we think we can work, around that. But yeah, we will need to have access to water for the pressure washing.
Yeah.
I think we just need to find out where this committee falls under, report back to that committee. I don't know where it would fall under, it's everything.
Design probably.
Yeah.
That's our issue to work out, as far as that goes. It all sounds good, I was just thinking, whose committee gets the next step? If we're able to do it.
Well, I think one is, I mean, sorry to put you on the hot seat, Carly, but just social media putting out a post, like, we'd love to hear from you. What's your need? What does beautification look like in front of your business, and just start promoting it, and then, like you're saying, breaking it down, maybe into quadrants, and we can just walk and take a look and see.
Yeah, I'll email the business list that I have going.
I was gonna say a survey would be really good for that.
Some of the
I
surveys,
could send that out, yeah.
some of the Main Street stuff we did.
And then we can do. Then once we get like a little bit more of a narrowed focus, like a game plan, then it could go on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like see what the business owners, the tenants or building or whatever they may be on, what they say, and then see. And then kind of once we have a list, yeah,
Smart.
put it out on Facebook, maybe a little more easy to track that way.
Dave, we appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
Give us ideas, and I know we talked this afternoon, so.
Definitely.
Side.
And just final thought, again, this is me putting on small business hat. The feedback was the folks in the small business community, need as much support as possible right now. I can't emphasize that enough. And I think y'all are headed in the right direction. What they want is consistent events and programming. They want to make downtown alive and energetic and get us into a good rhythm year round. So it's not just on, a Saturday during a festival, but they need help. There was just an inclement weather weekend. It's so hard for small businesses to make up that lost revenue on any kind of weekend. So the more we can lean in right now as a community to support those small businesses, please keep the discussions going around parking, around signage, around anything that makes downtown feel as welcoming as possible to visitors. And, we've got the amphitheater coming. We know we've got a lot of festivals and events in the queue, but, the business owners need some immediate small wins right now. They need to see as much progress and hope as possible. So just, again, I think we're headed in the right direction. But from a small business perspective, they need as much help as they can get right now. All right, thanks y'all. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Anyone else from the crowd? All right, item 4, Ms. Carly.
So, are we, okay, so we are putting off wayfinding signage right now, or the design committee is going to figure out costs on that before February's meeting? Or are we,
We already said the cost, didn't we?
well, that's
So
I was ready to vote on it, so.
Well, yeah, but we'd have to have the number of signs, location of signs, and total dollar amount you're willing to spend on signs, and what you want them to look like, and what you want them to say.
Okay, let's say that all
Okay.
again, but.
I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Thank you.
But, yeah, so it would be, total number, where you want them, what you want them to say, a maximum dollar amount you wanna spend. And yeah, what are we starting with, the ones on Main Street or the ones on the highway?
Anyone that Josh can do, but we'll do it in committee and I'll
Okay,
just make sure it's on the agenda.
yeah,
for next
time, okay.
This
And
is going to be
plan
on
on
the
voting
agenda
for it.
every single month.
What, as signs?
The
Committees
committees.
and committees.
And it's up to the committee to bring to the board what they want to be voted on.
Oh, you're saying it will be
Present.
on the,
Yeah.
These committees will be a standing item on every single meeting agenda
okay,
moving forward. And then it's up to the committee to say, we've done this work and here's what we propose and this is the cost, and then the board would vote on those things.
okay.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, if you want the Main Street signage or the, what I'm gonna call the highway signage first, or do a little bit of both. Yeah, cost, what you want it to say, look like, all the things, and I'll send out an email, okay. For the ones going on Main Street that Parrish had proposed maybe starting with, like, suggested maybe polling the business owners, seeing if they have a preference of aesthetic on the ones in downtown. The highway ones are what they are, they're brown and square, so. And then so we voted to put the bathroom signage, but then we changed it to signage in total.
Then you change the signage.
So the design before the February meeting was gonna need to make a determination on who was gonna do the Bowen Building and public restroom signage, and the spend for that. So we've said the spend, keep it in the $5,000 range, not the $8,000 range, because there's two quotes and they both ranged from 5,000 to in the 7,000s, that's why I put 8.
What is the Bowen building?
The one that's adjacent to the restroom.
The public
Where the parking spots are.
Oh,
It says Bowen's parking lot, but it's all like faded and stuff.
I gotcha.
And
They're okay with us painting on it?
Jack knows the guy, so as long as we have permission from him,
I'm trying to get hold of him now, I can't get him to return the call,
yeah,
so.
so, yeah, if he returns Jack's call, then yes, this is, there's no problem with us. And council doesn't have to approve this, just if we vote on it, they can, or y'all vote on it, they can.
This is just an idea of mine, cause I think even $5,000 is outrageous for that when we can spend it on other things. I am good at stuff like that, I can paint whatever and I can make it look however we want it.
If you,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
you can,
would, I mean, literally all we would need to buy would be supplies and paint.
then just bring that number to the February meeting. How much you're gonna need to spend on supplies and paint. You can go off the mock-ups they did, so that way you kinda don't have to go remeasure. Cause I went out and measured the building size and stuff, and then that just gave your supplies and paint off this. Like, I'll give you this, and then, just bring that number then, and if you,
I mean, that's just my opinion though, like y'all can,
Yeah.
you know.
it's up to you guys. So yeah, if that's something you want to do, then that's totally fine with me.
I'm just thinking money wise,
Yeah,
they make more sense.
Can she have sponsor? Oh, is that gonna be permissible to have on the design?
Huh?
The wall, the bathroom and the Bowen building, would it be a sponsor on there?
oh no, so it's just going to say the words public restroom, and then Bowen's parking lot with a little arrow, like we're resurfacing that sign that's faded and putting the words public
So it's
restroom.
aesthetic, we're not doing a sign, we're not doing a logo mural or a logo or anything.
No, it's the sign of what the building is, and then just repainting the sign on the Bowen building that's already faded.
So,
What you see here is what they want it to look like, I guess, right?
Yeah, the packet from last month, Had it in there,
It's got a
so
logo.
whoever left it in their folder has it, whoever didn't does not.
It's a logo, it's with
So I think
I don't know where you're talking about.
I think we're,
logos.
uh,
Bars.
Organizationally, we're moving away from more of a scattered decision-making process into a more organized decision-making process, so that we don't have to spend so much time in our meetings having these discussions. That's what the committees are for. So I think the committee takes that information and then they discuss it. If they want to present it, ideally what I'd like to see is us have a meeting in each committee after this meeting and start talking about these individual goals and prioritizing them. They don't have to be done at once. One could be, you start one in November. We just need to sort of start prioritizing these items. And I think what Dave just talked about is gonna happen. You know, the things he wants to see happen are gonna happen once we start driving these results. So, you know, and if you look at these goals, the signage thing falls into these goals and into the committee that's assigned to it. So I know I'll be calling an economic development meeting and I'll be calling a organizational committee meeting after we have this meeting to go through this document and figure out what items we want to start tackling. And then who's gonna do those things, right? Start assigning duties. And then have an update in the February meeting. Maybe the update is, I don't have an update, we're not ready to present. Or maybe the update is, this is where we're at, but we're not there yet. Or maybe the update is, here's a full presentation, here's what we want to do, here's the cost, and the board either votes for it or against it. Is kind of how I would like to see us start organizing our activities. And I think, again, you guys did such a great job with the plan, that everything that's on that task worksheet it will address all the things that we said we want to do, right? And remember, that's 1 to 3 years, so some of these things may not be a this year thing, and that's okay. We can't do all this stuff in 1 year, well, we don't have time or the capacity. But the idea is just to start setting, start dates. Like, when do we see ourselves starting on that particular initiative? And like Dave said, maybe the low-hanging fruit, maybe there's something in your committee work that we can take on and show value on immediately, that we can say, okay, we're gonna start that now, and we'll complete that by X date. That's the goal for that particular task. But there are other goals that maybe you don't see envisioning that we tackle this year. So that's kind of what I envision us doing, and the signage thing falls into that. So, from a design perspective, that would fall into that. I know Katie has graciously volunteered to help that committee, and we really appreciate that. She's got some great ideas. She has a business on Main Street. She's a very artistic thinker, and I think her valuable feedback and input in that committee could be valuable. And she's willing to help out, which is great, because we need that. We need people outside the board to do the work. We're only 7 people. We can't, right? So we got to think outside the box a little bit, be creative about how we can bring in folks to help us accomplish these things. So, sorry, that was a long way of sort of getting the signage issue back to committee, but I think that's where we need to have
Thank
it.
you.
Does that make sense?
No, I was going off the rails.
Okay.
Started the logo discussion, but
Jeez.
Yeah,
that's where it.
Yeah.
There's a motion,
we approved the logo.
so that's been done.
That's been done.
What's that?
We need a decision on landscaping and the hanging baskets to be, like, if we're gonna purchase those this year, like how we're gonna water, like the whole plan, budget, ordering them, who's watering them, how much is it gonna cost? When are they gonna be here by? Cause I'm gonna have to tell them, like, or ask, them to hang them up and and if they're gonna be expected to water them, I need to know that and all this stuff. So if we could have a decision on all hanging basket, watering and landscaping this in February. And Pam, if you're gonna look into painting those 2 buildings, this is just an idea, but with doing music in the alley, like, and a lot more stuff happening in the alley, like, the mayor actually had this idea, and I think it's a good one, if you wanted, like, painting on the asphalt on the ground, or on one of the buildings, like, Stegall Alley, the name would be cool, if you wanna look, like.
No, I've even thought and not to get off topic again, I swear it'll take 2 seconds.
It's fine.
I really want to paint on their, like a giant chess checkerboard. And you can have those big things. Like you can paint like a I don't know, like a hopscotch, whatever kids do.
Yeah.
Kids do hopscotch, I don't know.
Yes, sure.
But make it cute, like, right now it looks, I mean, let's be honest, it looks trashy.
Looks
Cause
a
you
lot.
got,
Looks a
yeah,
lot.
old green paint,
Yep.
and then you got an arrow here, a road to nowhere. A lot needs to be done, but if we budget for that, so like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If we're voting on that, my thoughts about the hanging basket for right now is to hold off, cause that's like one of the biggest expenses on that
It is.
budget thing.
Very large.
I would rather that money go to wayfaring signs and everything else before it goes to another beautification project. Not that that's not important. I prioritize other things ahead of that, and y'all may disagree with me.
So we don't have a price for the master gardeners, do
They're free, no
we?
price.
No, but the supplies aren't. The work.
No.
Oh, we would buy the plant.
We still gotta talk to them
Yeah.
and see.
We can't get that budget, do you know how much that's gonna be?
So,
Yeah, that's all stuff that needs to be brought to the February meeting.
so we just approved a budget,
That's all we do.
okay?
Not a,
So you need to, I think everybody needs to understand that this is what we're saying we're going to do this year. What we just approved, the amended budget, including hanging basket beautifications, that's in the budget. So we've said we're going to accomplish that this year.
But we don't have to.
We could do a mid-year budget.
That's what I thought I heard you say, like anything on there, it doesn't mean we have to spend money on it. It just means it's there, just,
It just means when mid-year season rolls around, we'll have to amend the budget and take it out.
But we also still don't know the pricing of everything, so I mean, we still have a lot to identify before we can.
Actually, that's a pretty solid number for the hanging basket, because Brian did a lot of work on that.
Yeah.
To bring us the
I've got
data
that.
on that, yeah.
Here.
Um,
Okay,
So-
so basically, design is now done. The wayfinding signage for 515 and Main Street. The Bowen and Public Restroom supplies and paint, if you wanna do that. The Stegall Alley sign and anything else you wanna paint on it, supplies you would need. Landscaping, hanging baskets, watering, blah, blah, blah. That's design. So promotions, we're gonna need the banners and the bollard covers, cause I asked Public Works today to go rip the bollard covers off. I don't know if they have yet or not, but they're old and no longer applicable. So if you want new ones, we'll need new ones for this season. And then any banners, so promotions, we need to work on that. I talked to Jason with J2 Audio today, who does the stage for Downtown Live that we had been using. And I have a call with him tomorrow, but I discussed the Perot Mark Whitfield layout, and not doing anything on Main Street, so, somebody might want, wait till Tuesday, nobody contact until Tuesday would just be ideal. So, cause I know the promotions will eventually need to talk to him, but until we see what council does. I was gonna ask somebody to call him, but let's hold off till next week on that. Cause he thinks we're flipping to the other layout, so. And just as an FYI, as a board member, everybody's required to do a minimum of 2 hours of training for the year. I have to do 30, it's not even hard, 2 will be fine, I promise. So just pick a day or a half day in class, in person, online, I don't care, or something, just FYI, you gotta do that. The one person that goes to conference, you will cover that 8 times over. So if you're the person that goes to conference, good news, that's all you have to do all year.
Does that start in the calendar year, or is that like, so?
Calendar year, yeah, it started
So, I
January
mean-
1st to December
Alright, so
31st.
the ones we did back in the, fall?
Yeah, those went on that went in our report for 2025,
Okay.
yes. Oh yeah, y'all exceeded that 20 times over in 2025. This year, obviously, you don't have to do all that, but everybody's got a 2 hour minimum. One person has to go to conference. Conference counts for like 16 hours or something, so you'll be winning the game there. Whoever wants to go.
let's see what you're saying.
Um,
I'm listening.
If, I know we can't pay for the board, I gotta stop saying we, God, I'm gonna hate watching this back here. Once the board, or I know the board has decided to not pay for the kids zone any longer, I do have a contact, I'll be sending promotions tomorrow of somebody that might be willing to sponsor the kids zone. So, when I send you that email tomorrow, if someone would call them before February, that'd be great. And That's really all I've got. Marty and Jack need to be at the council meeting Monday because you have to get re-sworn in because your terms are technically over. And then, cause technically you're not, yeah, you're re-upping because your terms expired already. So, the mayor's gonna re-swear in and then swear in the new member Monday night. That really is it, I think. Whoever is claiming themselves as the head of design, you need this. I don't know who wants to claim that. So I know that Parrish would like to come off that committee when the new person gets sworn in Monday. So I think right now it's just Pam and Brian. So whoever wants the Lowrie stack, your hanging basket stuff's in here. All the stuff for the signs, the map, and then the graphics we will need to make for 2026. Parrish would mention that he would like one of these with all of you on it. If you have headshots, send it to me. If you don't, we'll make you one of just, I don't know, it's an idea. If you don't wanna do it, you don't have to. Parrish gave it to me, it's in a stack. Share amongst yourselves. But that is all I've got. So, yeah, we are good.
Thanks, Carly. Appreciate your help with that. And I'm sorry to sound like a broken record tonight, guys. We'll get better at this. I mean, this is a different way of us doing things, so I get it, but I appreciate your patience as we, start working toward, I feel like the heavy lifting has been done, the foundational stuff.
Yeah, we're good.
I think now it's about executing the plan that we said we were gonna do. And again, the committee takes ownership of these things, so if it's not something that the committee feels like is a priority, then it's not a priority, but hopefully we can move toward at least some of the things that we budgeted for this year. And again, like you said, we can make changes along the way. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for all you do. Our next DDA meeting is February 23rd at 5:30. God willing, no more snow or freezing temperatures.
No more.
Lastly, before we adjourn, I just want to say, Brian, I know it's been a journey, brother. We love you. We're glad you're back. And answer prayers. We'll keep you in our prayers and just keep getting better, okay? Keep doing the things you're doing. You're doing great.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
It's hard.
You want me to take that packet?
It don't matter.
Okay.
I'll get
So-
away.
With
Yes.
that, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would like to discuss the signs again, if you don't mind. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Oh, sorry. Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you all.